All right, so you are a strong black woman, educator, teaching black kids. What was it like teaching in Massachusetts and being a black teacher in Massachusetts?
It was one. First off, teaching in Massachusetts was my first year teaching. So I taught my first and second year in Massachusetts at a school called Orchard Garden Pilot School. So it's a pilot school, and also I worked for a AmeriCorps company called Citizen Schools. It was very, very tough because honestly, I was the only African American teacher in my school. Everyone else is like Cape Verdean and Hispanic. So my roots is totally different than my colleagues' roots, and the way I think and the way I handle social issues is totally different than how some of my colleagues were presented in their classroom. So it was very tough. It took me a long time, well, not a long time, but like half of a quarter to actually like find my place and find my identity, because in Massachusetts, especially like teaching at the school where I taught at, you can easily get lost. You can get lost because you're trying to like fit in with the crowd instead of building your own culture within your classroom. And it was really, really tough. There was no school culture there. I couldn't be myself. So until I realized that like I can't make my students be successful if I'm sitting up here and just trying to be something that I can't. So I had to like literally put myself in my students' shoes, because at the end of the day, they are Cape Verdean, not African American, but they are students of color. And they are woke and they understand like the differences that's going on in society, which at my previous schools, teachers were uncomfortable to talk about situations like that, which is made me very like, no, I gotta wake these students up in literature, because it's just no way that like it's an issue going on in society and no one is talking about it. The biggest downfall that I had at my school was Trump got put into office when I was teaching at a Hispanic, which half of my students are immigrants. And to have students to come into my classroom and like, we don't know if our parents gonna actually be here with us tomorrow. So that was like, took me out like, dang, it like racism is different, it's deeper than African American, and it made me learn a lot about my students' culture. I wanted to go to Cape Verb, I wanted to go to Puerto Rico. It was just super amazing, like to be in a school setting with students that is speaking bon dia. Like I'm like, what is that? It was like, how are you? I'm like, oh, okay. So it's like different things that I learned with them, but it wasn't, the school culture didn't allow them to be themselves.
So last question. Like knowing, like with your expertise and you being in Massachusetts, getting your master's there, your certification there, your understanding of the system, also teaching in a charter school there, do you think that as a state, Massachusetts is hitting the mark and doing what is necessary to move the lever in education in America?
If I had to, I only can speak for the school that I was at. So Orchard Gardens is a school that is a turnaround school. So a turnaround school is when the government basically come into your school and say, hey, what you're doing is not working, you got to turn it around. They give you a certain amount of time to actually get into that process where your school to become a turnaround. I came a year after it had already did their turnaround part or whatever. I feel like the school is not rigorous enough. It does not have effective teachers. And they're not teaching to the point where it's setting our students up for success, compared to coming here and I'm teaching 5th grade and I'm teaching thesis. I'm teaching things that I personally didn't learn until I was in high school. So I think it's not being in a public school, it's not pushing our students. It's only putting them at the level they need to be at, instead of pushing them towards college, pushing them towards things they need to know. You walk into a classroom, everybody's doing something totally different, and that's what made it like really, really hard. But I think like just making sure, the biggest thing is like what I'm teaching is probably not what the other literacy teacher is teaching. And then again, like we only had like one literacy teacher to cover up the whole entire school. So I think if they have the resources, they have the things that they need, as far as like people coming in and actually like giving that extra help. But I think in order for Massachusetts to be considered a top school or top education state to me, we need more effective teachers in the classroom.
Thank you so much, Ms. Edmonds.